hopefully they'll take it through into the World Championship. But unfortunately, as we've seen in the World Championship, via the fact that we've got 7 long lap penalties, there's a fair bit of dawdling goes on here as well. Good performance from a couple of junior talent team riders, the first of which Mario Adji, another man that will be cursing his luck in Barcelona, having started on pole position.
They line up, Rueda on a debut pole position ahead of Morera and Tapia. Shout out for him, that's his first front row. Gardo, Matsuyama and Ortola on row 2, Garcia, Vanden Gorberg and Munoz on row 3. First ever top 10 qualifying. He's been threatening that as well, Josh Watley. 10th on the grid for him, although he has 2 long lap penalties ahead of Mario Adji, who has 1. Buaz restarts 12th ahead of David Alonso. Marcos Uriarte, who got a podium, of course, last time out, and Joel Kelso, who won last time out. He starts 15th. Salvador, Nishimura and Fusco on row 3. Then we have Detweiler, Sayarifudin, Asman and Lunetta. Scott Ogden starts 22nd. More on him in a second. Filippo Farioli 23rd and Ryu in 24th. Then we have Aegius, Volpi and Colin Via, another of the long lap penalty gang. And we have Rouget, Ruda and O'Shea, Eddie O'Shea on road 10, before we get to Morosi, Carraro, Real, and Danny Munoz shows up as 34th.
First time in his career, he's the pre-race favourite. He's got the pace to pull away. Can anybody get in his way? Here we go. Junior World Championship action from Aragon is underway. Rueda fires from pole position. Has he got the start? It looks good to me. He's only a pocket rocket. It's the 95, and he's going to be joined behind by the championship leader Holgado. He fires through from the second row of the grid to settle into second, with Morera there in third. Yeah,
great launch from Holgado. He just got straight through the middle of the 2 Australia Glacier bikes and up into second place. It wasn't such a great start, unfortunately, for Tapia on the inside of the front row on the Leopard bike. He's been shuffled back to 6th. He's got Ortola just ahead of him. And I believe it'll be Matsuyama just in front of them as well. I think he's 4th in line as we look. Yes, indeed he is, as we get a rider back that now can serve their long lap penalties. The 70, of course, they can see on screen of Josh Watley, who's already down in 21st, has to take 2 trips through there. We've got yellows out at turn 4, so we think there's been an incident there as well on this second lap, but no change at the front just yet. Still a 1-3 for the Australia Galicia team. We think it might have been Eddie O'Shea involved down at turn 4. Unfortunately, the British talent team rider, he's not come through the first sector, sadly, on this first lap. But at the moment, Holgado sandwiched between the 2 Australia Galicia bikes, and Rueda looking comfortable but not dominating just yet.
Great start from Rueda then, from pole position. The first time he sat there, I'm sure there were nerves in the belly of the 95, because everyone is expecting him to win this race. If he doesn't, I'm sure it would be a disappointment given the weekend he's had so far. But so far so good. This will do him the world of good, being able to hit the front early, get into his rhythm and hopefully pull clear. But at the moment, Holgado is not allowing that to happen. He's gone under the radar, which seems surprising to say for the man that's leading the championship by an impressive margin, but he hasn't really been in amongst it at the sharp end all weekend long. 4th in qualifying was good, but you normally expecting to see him up on the front row, but he really is finding his feet on Sunday as we see Eddie O'Shea's British talent team machine roll away. He went down at turn 4. Fingers crossed we've not just seen him yet. He is up and okay. At the front though, another lap ticks by, and it's still Rueda that leads the way.
Yeah, and Kelso, the fastest rider on track now, he's getting up to speed now. Whether he's running, whether he's feeling slightly better now, whether he's just running on pure adrenaline, he's getting on with it. He's up into the top 10, fastest rider on track, although they're all, with a couple of exceptions out leading group, lapping in the mid to high 158. So it's a quick pace up front as Garcia carves up the inside of Kelso, trying to halt his progress. And then up the inside as well of that must be Tapia on the Leopard bike, who's been 6 riders with maybe a 4 and a 2 batting at the front. And Ortola making progress. He's now past Morera, who will now look to just keep his powder dry maybe at the back of the leading group. Or is he going to go up the inside already? He's going to try, but he's not going to get through on Ortola. So 4 riders away at the front at the moment, and Ortola is the fastest of them. Fastest lap of the race last time around.
Yeah, he's looked good here as Ortola. Didn't get the start he would have wanted, but he's picked his way through the field quite impressively so far to find himself sat in 3rd. And I tell you what, having got ahead of Morera, he's quickly detached him, and he's straight onto the rear wheel of Holgado, piling the pressure on the 96. And he knows he has to finish ahead of Holgado. 69 points adrift with only 5 races remaining in the championship after this one. He can't afford to lose yet more points in the favour of Holgado.
Absolutely. Holgado, though, he's made precious few mistakes. Here's Kelso. He's just did a little gesture with his left hand there. I wonder whether he's just communicating to Garcia that he's going through the long lap penalty lane, as it really bunches up now amongst that leading group. Kelso, I think, has gone through the long lap penalty lane. You probably see him flash at the bottom of the screen. There he is, through the long lap penalty lane. So he's now served that, and it'll be interesting to see where he comes out in relation to Mario Aggi, who, of course, he was battling with at the time that he took his penalty. But yeah, this leading group of 6 now, it seems to be bunching up. The pace maybe not as fast as we thought up the front. Whether Rueda is just keeping it calm at the moment because he feels he's got an advantage when the tyre starts to wear, we'll find out in the time of this race. But at the moment, there's a bit of a queue forming up behind him.
So far, so good for time. Rueda since, and now hits the front.
Absolutely, it's very, very tight through that first corner, as we've already mentioned. It's such a difficult first corner as we cut back to the leaders. Now Ortola up the inside of Danny Holgado. Rueda still keeping a bit of a watching brief in third, but this is now interesting. Ortola hits the front for the first time, really, in this race. We saw in the European Talent Cup race a few moments ago that you don't really want to lead onto this back straight, certainly not at the end of the race when the points are finally handed out. But we'll see what kind of drive Ortola gets. He gets a pretty good launch off turn 15, actually. Puts one or two bike lengths ahead of Holgado, but look how quickly that closes up.
Tell you what, you don't want to lead out the final chicane if you're someone that's
to it. And now we'll see if he can repay the compliment to Holgado, who breezed past him on the back straight last time around. Ortola not finding it quite as easy. You already mentioned, Jack, the issues he's dealing with, not through any fault of his own, but even in the slipstream, he can't do anything about Holgado, and if anything, he's losing a spot.
I tell you what, Rueda was a lucky boy there. He nearly had his front end chopped off by Ortola. You can see the desperation from him almost from Rueda. He thought he was going to have it all his way today, but it's not that way at all as he looks to fight back on Ortola here. It's 3 abreast into the opening corner. Rueda will surely move through to second. He's going to hit the front. He's so late on the brakes there. Somehow he gets it stopped though, and the 95 is back at the lead of this race. Yeah,
this will all be music to the ears of Munoz in third place now, who's suddenly got a real slingshot on the 2 of them ahead of him. Can he now get in amongst this leading pair? But brilliant riding from Rueda, who's clearly just decided he's had enough of this. And there is Munoz now up into second place, up the inside of Holgado. That's the highest he's been in this race. Of course, going it alone with his namesake, Daniel Munoz, out injured. And he's doing a good job at the moment. David Munoz, don't forget, he's essentially equal second in the championship with Ortola, level on 64 points. So don't rule him out for a late championship charge yet either.
And this is going to be a concern for the other 5 riders in this lead group, because Rueda, yes, he's been fast over 1 lap, but his race pace has been sensational. Kev Coughlin, team manager of the Australian Galicia squad, reckons he's got half a second a lap on everybody else when the tyres start to wear. We're going to see that now. This is his opportunity with 6 laps having ticked by, track temperature starting to rise as well. This is his opportunity to pull clear, and at the moment he's looking like he's taking it.
Take about half a second lap on the last time around. Joel Kelso did a 1:59.4 on the last lap around. That was 7/10 faster than the leaders and half a second faster than the next fastest guy on that lap. So Kelso, you might see him when they come out to 15. You'll probably see him on the 66, the HER red bike, just closing fast at the moment.
Some performance this from Kelso to drag them along. He's got Josito Garcia for company, as you said. Just incidentally, we said someone dropping down the timing screens at the Leglise Academy machine of Morosi, down in 30th at the moment. It looks as though he's stopped out on track. 8 laps remaining then, 7.5 now as they come through Marc Marquez corner. And look at this, Kelso is absolutely flying. The advantage, as you said, only 1.5 seconds between him and Matsuyama, the rear wheel of. They're going to be with them. I tell you what, we could have ourselves almost 10-12 riders fighting for victory here in the latter stages, but at the moment it's still Rueda leading the way. He's trying to drag them all clear, but he's not doing a good job of it just yet. I think the alarm bells might start to be ringing in a couple of laps if these guys can latch themselves on.
Absolutely. But Holgado is still sitting there in third. Ortola just behind him, who's trying to, and this is, I think, going to be a feature as well. You'll see quite a lot of this later in the race, the weaving down the back straight. No one wants to provide a slipstream for the other, but you really don't have much of a choice of it, as Holgado gets that slipstream and is able to go into second place. Well, all too briefly. He might get eased wide there as they then flick it left through the final corner. Can Munoz get up the inside of him? I think he just did as we look out of our window. He does still sit in third, but it is very, very close to that top top 6 as they go across the line. Once again, they're all in the 2 minutes range, apart from Matsuyama, actually, who did a 1:59.9. Slower lap that time from Kelso. His momentum halted slightly. He was faster than the leaders, but not by as much.
Rueda getting bullied. Jose Antonio Rueda. Down the back straight they go. Moves to the left-hand side to try and cut off the slipstream as much as possible. Here comes Holgado. He's going to dive in, is he? No way around on the inside. He's going to have to go the long way. Not that it matters, though. Look at that. The pace of that gas machine is evident there. The 96 of Holgado rolls around the outside and retakes the lead of this one. Ortola as well. That's an audacious move. Surely he's not going to pull that one off. No, he's not. Here comes Rueda. Can he fight back as they cross the line? Only 6 laps remaining, and it's getting really spicy at the front here. Ortola hard onto the brakes, finds second spot, and it's these 4 battling it out once again. As Sudder said, Matsuyama keeping his powder dry, as is Moreira as well. Maybe they're just playing a waiting game as they all start to filter up again. Rueda clearly feels he's got the pace to be able to roll through there at turns 3 and 4, but just can't find a way through. Ortola will sit behind, quite happy as they roll through turn 5. And look, they're with them now. They are with them. Kelso has done an incredible job. Remember, he's had a long lap penalty, as has Mario Aggi behind him as well. But it's his hard work, the 66, that means that they're in this leading group. Well, we spoke to him earlier on today, and he said, I'm not expecting much, I've had a difficult weekend. I think his expectations might be changing now. Up the inside of Matsuyama, as goes Garcia as well, as does Aggi. And suddenly this chasing group are in amongst it. 5.5 laps remaining. And surely someone from either Kelso, Aggi or Garcia, having shown the pace that they have, could be one of the favourites to win. Turn 13 here with Holgado holding on. Here comes Ortola, though. He's going to be alongside him. Have they managed to find a way through? No, they haven't. Still Holgado that leads the way as they come down the back straight. And that gas machine just has the top-end advantage. It looks over the Honda. Of course, the gas just a rebadged KTM. Ortola with his weight disadvantage and height disadvantage. I'll be surprised if he's able to draft past. Here comes the Honda of Rueda, again looking up the inside, but look at that, Ortola is late on the brakes, he's going to run wide though. Holgado finds his way back through, Rueda looking to squeeze through a gap that just isn't there. And Kelso is 5th. What a performance this is from the 66. He comes alongside both Munoz and Rueda, he's going to dive through up to 3rd. What a ride from Joel Kelso. A long lap penalty hasn't stopped him one iota, and from being 15th on the grid and having a long lap penalty, he's up in the mix and he's going to hit the front very shortly. Big moment out of turn 3. He just about holds on to 3rd place, though not for long, because there goes Josito Garcia, the other man that he's dragged along. And Antonio Rueda, having started from pole and been the pre-race favourite, is down to 6. He's getting bullied out there. Munoz fights back. What a final 4.5 laps we're going to have here at Motorland Aragon. But amid all the drama, it is still the gas Gaviota Aspar machine, the championship leader of Danny Holgado, that leads the way. Ortola tucked in behind, knowing that he has to finish ahead of the 96 to keep his championship hopes alive. Remember, 150 points, 5 races remaining after this one. It could be a lead of almost 75 if Holgado was to win it, but let's not speak too soon, because there goes Ortola up to the front for the first time in a long time, and now they're swarming over the rear of Holgado. Garcia is there, Kelso is there, Munoz is there, and they're all going to try and jump ahead of the championship leader on the brakes into the final corner, because Ortola has just made a little bit of a jump. The elastic at the front just starting to stretch there, but again, look at the power of that Aspar machine. He's able to draft his way right back up onto the rear wheel of Ortola. Out to the final corner we go there. They're going to flash past that commentary position. Just 4 remaining, side by side is Holgado on Ortola. As here comes Rueda, he swings to the inside. Kelso looking for a move through as well, and the Australian looking for back-to-back victories. Now through to 2nd spot. Garcia holds off Muñoz's advantages as Kelso hits the front. The comeback is complete. What a ride this is. The 66, may I remind you, 15th on the grid, a long lap penalty. Only on a bike for the first time in 2 weeks on Monday after being pretty badly ill. But he's now leading into the final stage of this race. Is fitness going to be a key, having exerted so much to be able to get himself to the front of this race? It doesn't look like it at all. Naranjito, of course, sporting the orange on the top of the helmet as a result of the ginger locks underneath, could be on course here for a sensational brace of victories in Portimao and here in Aragon. If he can get his head down and continue with the pace that's allowed him to move through from outside of the top 10 up to first spot, I don't think anyone's going to be able to live with him. Runs slightly wide though, clearly pushing hard through 12 as he then flick right at 13. Ortola unable to find an answer there as Muñoz in the back of the picture picks his way through on championship leader Holgado. Now we get to see how much grunt the 66 of Kelso has, the KTM powered AGR machine. At the moment looks okay alongside the MTA of Ortola, but there goes the 24, able to draft his way through, and Ortola hits the front once more. Garcia with a big look up the inside, no way through. Muñoz trying to roll around the outside. We've got 12 riders here in this lead group, all fighting over the same piece of tarmac. 3 laps now remaining, and here comes Holgado, the championship leader, looking to get back in amongst it, as does Rueda as well. He's popped out from nowhere as the diminutive Spaniard, through to third, with Muñoz now second behind Ortola. Fastest final sector of the race coming from Rueda there at a crucial time as well. They did say he's got the pace on used tyres. Maybe now is his time to try and pick his way through to the front and take the victory, which everybody thought was his at the start of the race. Too early to say that, though, with the way this race has gone so far. Here is that move from Rueda. Look at that, he was down in 7th spot. Then hard on the brakes, picked his way through on Holgado, on Kelso, on Muñoz, on nearly Muñoz. Had a good look, wasn't able to get it done. Nervous faces in the AGR box. I'm sure they didn't expect this from Kelso. Just dropped back a little bit, down to 5th now as a result of them all punching up into the opening corner. As here comes Rueda up the inside, now into 2nd. This is good stuff, great racecraft from the Spaniard. He's been up against it, bullied at times, you would have to say, by the older, the bigger, the more experienced riders, but he's finally picking his moment and finding his rhythm here. Down the back straight we go, Ortola leading the way. You would imagine the flyweight, the lightweight Rueda is going to have the ability to draft his way through here. Makes life easier that there's a gap there on the inside for him to exploit as well. The 95 is at the front, is he? Yes, he is. And there goes Muñoz as well. He was able to use a little bit of double bubble on the slipstream to find his way through to 3rd, or 2nd, sorry, but momentarily, of course, with Ortola finding a way back through. And now Kelso, he's finding a 2nd wind. But meanwhile, Rueda leads with 2 laps to go here in Aragon. Into turn 2 we go. Ortola there, sat 2nd with Muñoz behind. Holgado, Garcia. Uriarte has properly gone under the radar as well. The Leglis Academy rider. He's up there now into 6th spot. And of course, don't forget that he was on the podium last time out. Still Rueda though that leads. It's all going to plan so far for the 95 with 1.5 laps remaining. The men 2nd and 3rd in the championship at the moment, of course, tied on points are both Ortola and Muñoz. This is a great result if things stay as they are, with Holgado down in 5th. But don't be surprised if we see them shuffle and shake, as they have already, with Holgado battling his way through on Garcia to take 4th. Through Marc Marquez corner, still Rueda leads the way. Ortola offering some close attention. Munoz as well, as that opening three, those leading trio, just able to broken ever so slightly clear. Holgado trying to go with them, but there is just pockets of spaces here and there just starting to open up. The pace of Rueda is just stretching this group out. They were nose to tail a couple of laps to go, but suddenly Rueda, having hit the front and putting his head down, is just starting to test a lot of the riders behind. Down the back straight we go on the penultimate time. The rear wheel just offering minimal grip for Rueda there. You can see him pumping on the rear tyre. He eventually gets it sat up though as he drives his way down this kilometre-long back straight here in Aragon. A dress rehearsal of what's to come in 1 lap's time. If Rueda leads, well, he may well have to give way to Ortola, but he finds a cutback, almost. A brave move, couldn't work though, and it's Ortola that leads then and will start the final lap of this brilliant Junior World Championship race in first position. Rueda in second, looking for a way through. Holgado's in amongst it as well. Who's going to lead through the opening corner? It is Rueda that retakes back control. Oh, that's Mario Aggi that's gone down. Disappointing end to a great race for Aggi, having been through the long lap penalty loop once. Oh, that's a great shame. The misfortune continues for the Indonesian. He's out of what would have been a top 10 finish. At the front, still Rueda leads, and surely he's going to be one of these 4 riders. Holgado looking to try and get himself in contention. Second spot, you would have to say, certainly with the power that Holgado has got beneath him, would be perfect down the back straight. Can he manage to find his way and position himself perfectly? Time running out for everyone else here. Rueda still leading. In towards the reverse corkscrew for the final time. Right, then left, no way through there. With Uriarte up to 5th, he has been the quiet man of this race. He's battled his way through. What a result that would be as well. Kelso having done all the hard work earlier on. We did say maybe the fitness levels might strike later on, and it looks as though they have. He's just been drifted backwards now to 8th spot. Here we are then into turn 12 for the final time. Still Rueda leading. Munoz has found a move through on Holgado. That's going to be costly for the championship leader. He's going to have to find something special to draft his way through to victory from 4th into the chicane for the final time. No way through for anyone else. Rueda will lead them out the final corner, just as it was 1 lap ago. Can Ortola once again draft his way through? Rueda goes left and then right and then left once more, trying to break the slipstream as much as he possibly can do. He'll hug the white line on the left-hand side, go defensive. Ortola will go the long way around and surely get it done as well. There goes Munoz, squeezing through the pair of them. The 64 of David Munoz has squeezed through a gap that surely wasn't there, and is he going to be the man to take victory here? An unlikely one. Rueda goes left, Holgado goes right, but it's Munoz that takes victory. Oh, what a race that was. David Munoz victorious in the Junior World Championship for the first time in his career. What a final lap. He started it in 4th, picked off the championship leader, and then squeezed his way through on both Ortola and Rueda into the final corner. What a performance from the man that will now sit 2nd in the championship and reignite his championship charts.